Look at verse 33. This is an interesting passage. It said, they answered him and they said, we're Abraham's descendants, and we've never been in bondage to anyone. How can you say you will be made free? Interesting. Now think about this for just a moment. He's talking to Jews in Israel. Do you realize what was going on at that point in time? They were in bondage to Rome. Now, years ago when God did a work in our life, the man that God used was Milton Green, and he used to say, a deceived person doesn't know they're deceived, because that's the definition of being deceived. You don't know. I think it's amazing. I'm sure Jesus is going, what do you think those Roman soldiers are right over there? What do you think all that? What's that about? But I mean, they're going, hey, we've never been in bondage to anybody. We're children of Abraham. No, what about Egypt? What about Babylon? What about Persia? I guess they just sort of slipped their mind. And the Roman soldiers that were walking around parading themselves all over the place. But you know something? I was just like that sitting in church. I'm raised in church. I mean, literally went to church all the time. Went to church in high school, went to church in college. After we got married, we went to church. And sitting in church, if somebody would say, are you free? I'd say, yep, absolutely. Yeah, free. And just sitting there in absolute bondage. Had a temper I couldn't control, thoughts I couldn't control, language, but I would, if somebody would say, are you free? Oh, I'm free. Deceived, but I was free. I'm afraid that there's still much of the church is like that. Sitting there saying, well, I'm going to heaven. I really believed I was going to heaven too. See, the issue is not going to heaven. That's the problem. The heaven is wanting to come here. God is wanting to release heaven through us. He's not trying to get us to heaven. If salvation is the beginning of a journey of a relationship with the King, and it's a relationship that he wants to work into us so that we ultimately come into a place of where we begin to look and act like him. I did not do that. Went to church, believed I was going to heaven. But I was sitting in church, and I would have said I was free. I'm free. No problems here. But the reality was I wasn't. Had no idea there was a war going on. When I went to that James Robinson meeting in August of '82, found out that there was a war. Found out I hadn't shown up for it. I actually had been a prisoner the whole time. It's like, wow, this is pretty cool. I never even knew there was a battle going on, and I didn't show up because I was a POW. And I'd never heard of demons and spiritual warfare. Never heard of the power of the Holy Spirit. Never heard about healing. All those things I had no concept of. And it's not the problem. It wasn't the church's fault. I just either didn't have ears to hear or I wasn't listening or whatever. But the reality is that I'm sitting in there, just like you're sitting here today, many of you, I'm sitting there going, I'm free. But I wasn't free. And people would say, what happened to you? And I say, I got set free. And took about 6 months to figure out, well, no, I'm not completely free. I'm just freer than I was, but I'm going to be a lot freer down the road. And I say, nearly 30 years later, I'm freer than I was, but I'm still not as free as I'm going to be someday.